Continues with Girl for Sale. Once again, Cynthia McFadden.
Look into the eyes of an 11-year-old girl. What do you see there? Innocence, hope, the young woman she's about to become? Well, we found that halfway around the globe in India, that isn't true for many young women. We discovered through a year-long investigation that many young girls, some as young as 11, are being sold into sexual slavery, many by their own parents. Some of them in conditions we discovered that are shocking. Some beaten, some held in cages, and some forced to have sex with as many as 20 men a day. We also met a man who's determined to change it, and we met a young woman who we'll never forget.
You are looking at a rare undercover video of a 13-year-old girl about to be sold by her father for $800 US. That's right, sold.
How much money do you want for your daughter?
But in this case, it isn't a trafficker who bought the girl, but a social worker and documentary filmmaker named Ruchira Gupta.
Can we take this girl to Bombay?
Yes.
This father actually let his daughter go because he had like 4 other children. All of them were starving. So he thought, if I let one daughter go, all the 6 of us can survive while she's gone.
When Ruchira told us it wasn't just desperate parents selling their children, but traffickers abducting underage girls, we wanted to find out more. Our investigation brought us halfway around the world, here to this 14-block area deep inside Bombay. Prostitution is out in the open, but here it isn't just women selling their bodies, but the women themselves, often young girls who are bought and sold and held as prisoners. Although it may look like these girls could just run away, they are constantly under surveillance by the Indian mafia, who employ a violent network of madams and pimps. It's called Kamatapura, and it is the largest red light district in the world. Almost as soon as we arrived, we heard about a little girl who'd been kidnapped, vanishing 4 months before, at the age of 14. Her name, Bharti Tapas. Her nightmare began thousands of miles from Bombay, in a remote region of India. It is here that traffickers comb villages looking for young girls to abduct. Bharti was just a schoolgirl living in this village in West Bengal when she met and fell in love with Papu Sherpa. He promised her marriage if she would just run away on the train with him to Bombay. What Bharti didn't know was that he had made the same trip with other girls, each of whom he sold into sexual slavery. Social workers say there are thousands of such girls, few of whom can ever hope to escape. But for Bharti, there may be hope in the form of this man, Balkrishna Acharya.
I have no gun. I have only my self-confidence, my willpower.
And who is this one-man army? By day, he works in an office as a Bombay businessman, but at night, he braves the streets of Kamatapura on a personal and very dangerous crusade to rescue abducted girls. There are a lot of people who would like to see you fail.
Yes, right.
Organized crime, for example.
Yes.
So far, he has rescued 187 underage girls. 2 of those girls seen in this photograph say they saw Bharti being held prisoner in one of the brothels. And so Balkrishna says he has decided Bharti will be his next rescue. We have asked him to assume an added danger by wearing our hidden camera and taking us with him. We have no idea how crucial that hidden camera will be later in the search for Bharti. It doesn't take long on the streets of Kamatapura before pimps approach Balkrishna and our producer, Mark Dorian, hawking their merchandise, underage girls.
I show you. You stand here, I bring it the girls.
Later on, the pimp negotiates the fate of this child right out in the open at this cafe.
How old are you? 14. You never had sex before? Never had sex before? Virgin? How much?
For a night of sex with this child, who in another circumstance might be doing her homework, the price, $250 US dollars. But we are told most girls are not sold openly. They are locked into small rooms inside a brothel with bars on the doors and windows. Through local social workers, we paid the madams to gain entry to this world where Bharti is being held. Balkrishna believes Bharti is a prisoner in a room like this one, called a cage.
These are locked cages. This is a metal grate that's locked here. I can see three young ones sleeping inside.
Many of the women resist work as prostitutes initially and are beaten.
Yes, they're beaten, they're kept without food.
Priti Patkar is a Kamatapur social worker who runs a shelter for the children of the prostitutes.
We've had women who've been burnt.
With cigarettes?
With cigarettes, with hot iron, chili powder and pepper powder, which was thrown in on their face, which went into their eyes, and sometimes even in their vagina.
It doesn't take long before girls are broken and forced to service up to 20 customers a day, always under the watchful eyes of the madams and pimps.
Their movements are totally controlled, watched, and monitored.
We went deep inside Kamatapur to places where the police rarely go. What we see are girls tucked away in hidden attics and tiny rooms.
If you get on the bed, which has no mattress, you can't extend your arms, as you can see.
Their children, who with no place to play and no one to care for them, are often drugged by their mothers and kept under the beds while they work. Social worker Ruchira Gupta.
The children become, in many instances, the next generation of pimp and whore.
Because they have grown up in the brothels, many of them are illiterate. They are vulnerable because clients are coming in and out. They see a pretty girl who's the daughter of the mother that they have been using, and the mother has no negotiating powers to stop her daughter from being exploited.